There was an interesting spat going on last night between Talk TV's Mike Graham and Tommy Robinson. Somebody suggested that Mike Graham have Tommy Robinson on his radio show, and then Mike Graham replied by just being nasty, really. And he doesn't have to debate anyone. He doesn't have to have anyone on his show he doesn't want. Now, that being said, they're always going on about free speech on talk radio, but they don't really practice it. Now, in my opinion, Talk TV, along with GB News, they talk a good game, but they're both compromised, and they are Ofcom controlled media outlets as far as I'm concerned. Now, Mike Graham could have ignored this request and just be on his way, but no, he had to get really personal and throw the typical left-wing tropes such as far right, etc., towards Tommy Robinson. Now, regardless of what you think of Tommy Robinson, he does have a considerable following and influence. He has more followers on Twitter or X than Mike Graham. And for Mike Graham to call Tommy Robinson far right, well, Mike Graham himself needs to remember he has also been called far right by the same people who labelled Tommy Robinson with the same rubbish. So why won't Mike Graham have him on his show? Well, there's a few options here. Like I said earlier, Talk Radio is an Ofcom controlled media outlet, the same as GB News. And remember, it was Calvin Robinson himself who told us that GB News refused to have Tommy Robinson on their channel because they are also compromised and controlled by lefties. Or maybe Mike Graham is scared to have Tommy Robinson on his show because he's intimidated by him and intimidated by Tommy Robinson's experience and knowledge. Look what he did to BBC stooge John Sweeney, and in my opinion, rightly so. Or maybe Mike Graham simply doesn't have the capacity to debate him. Who knows? But, regardless, I don't think Talk Radio can label itself as the home of free speech anymore, especially if they refuse to have people on who they deem to be too controversial. And as for Mike Graham, he had a similar spat with Count Dankula a few years ago. And when he appeared on the Piers Morgan show, which is run by the same channel, Talk Radio, late last year, Mike Graham, according to Count Dankula, walked into the waiting room at the back. And when he saw him, he turned tail and ran. So yeah, Mike Graham might be a bit of a coward after all. And there we go, 9:49. Thanks for listening. And until the next time, have a great weekend. And Roger Trout.